You can now get a 30-day trial to experience The Athletic for free. Visit the link in the description below to try it now.
Forget everything you know about Harry Kane. And now let me tell you about a player called Harry Kane, who is both a goal scorer and a playmaker. This man is now 2 players in 1. So we're going to look in this video at how Kane plays now, why he's not just a goal scorer, how he's actually become a playmaker for Tottenham, and how he does that. And we're going to use not only the tactics board and my eye, but some data skill. So first of all, let's look at how he played against Man City. So we know Harry Kane very well as a goal scorer, and you often find him in these sorts of positions here, like a striker would be, to get on the end of crosses, so he can put the ball into the back of the net to score the goal. But in recent seasons, he's been dropping ever deeper, getting into kind of midfield positions, and he can spray passes from here to players on the wings or to help find players in space. Now, against Man City, he was absolutely pivotal in springing these attacks from a deeper position. So if we look at the first goal that Spurs score, we can see where Kane's positioning varies from what you'd normally expect of a goal scorer. Ball comes out from a keeper to a defender to Ben Davies. Now Kane, you'd normally think would be up here. If Man City are pushed up high with a really high line, you'd expect a goal scorer, the striker, to be right up top. But what Kane does is drop into these positions here, where it's kind of in front of Rodri to here. So you're going to see this pass from Davies, knowing that he's got Son and Kulusevski who are instantly running in behind the high line. So all he's got to do is play he doesn't have to look where the player is, he just knows instinctively to play this sort of ball that goes through here. So within just a few passes, we'll do it like this, so you can sort of see the passes into Kane here, and then instantly like this. It's just a very vertical football that Kane can facilitate to get Spurs from one end to the other. But his passing throughout was really important to how they were spreading the play. So often Spurs would focus play on one side of the pitch, Kane would pick it up in a deep position and spread it to someone like Kulusevski, who would pull out really far wide, so say City are over here like this. You'd leave him in a bit of space on the wing because the ball, everyone's kind of concentrated on one side, and Kane has this amazing ability to spread it out to the wide areas. This is all the passes he received in the 3-2 win over City. And you can see they're all here. They're all deep, which is good. But he's also incredibly important for scoring the goals for Spurs, as we know, because that was his original thing. He is 2 players in 1. So because he's starting from this deep position, in fact, one of the goals they score, I think it looks something like this. But Kane starts the move by playing a ball right out to the left-hand side, sprays it out wide, and Son takes on his man and gets to the sort of area roughly here. Now City naturally retreat because they have to deal with Son in this position here, so they try and get back into position, which is what you want to do. And then Kane can just sort of slowly make his way to here. And then the ball comes into the box and Kane is able to score because he's timed his run from deep. If he had started his run inside the box or been close to one of these 2 centre-backs, they can keep touch tight to him, they know where he is, so they're able to kind of stop what he's doing. But because he's got this deep starting position, he floats into the box, unmarked, and bang, he gets his goal. And this is a really lovely finish. He gets, kind of volleys it side foot. So Kane, by not playing off the last man like you'd think a goal scorer would, is playing in a different sort of way. And I can show you how different he is to other strikers in the way that he plays and the positions he takes up by using some data. But for that, I need someone else to help me. And here's Maram, who knows far more about data than I do. Now, this is a graph that shows the difference between where Harry Kane plays or receives things, and what does this show us, basically?
Okay, so basically this is where Harry Kane and Robert Lewandowski receive progressive passes. Now, what does this show us? Harry Kane is more than a goal scorer. When you compare him to a player like Lewandowski, they're both players of similar stature, they're very good strikers in their respective leagues, but the way that they play is quite different. Lewandowski is centered around that box and finding the opportunities to get shots off. But with Harry Kane, he's actually both in the box and outside of it because he's focused not only on the chance creation bit and the goal scoring bit, but he's both. He's both. That's super cool. But it's a very valuable trait to have a player that can actually receive between the lines and also have a very good understanding of movement and positioning within the box. It's kind of like a double trouble thing.
Yes, this is more than this.
Yes, very much more.
So he is more than one player. This works still. So if we look at another graph that we have, here is a graphic called Harry Kane, and this shows, what does this show us?
Oh, basically this is all of his chances created within the last season and this season.
This is this season here?
Yes.
Yes. So this shows us that he is creating chances from all over the place deep, Whereas this is not normal for a striker.
Okay, so basically, he's creating more than one chance per 90. That's a very high volume, and that's not something you expect your striker to be doing. It's most likely your creative midfielder, maybe your fullback, but not your striker. And the volume that he's creating in is not the only cool thing about this chance creation map. It's that he has a lot of these sweeping passes and switches that are able to find runners in space. So when you compare that and when you combine that with a player like Son, you get a very lethal attacking combination. Now, the types of passes that Harry Kane makes are also interesting in this case. Now, when you're looking at a chance creation map, you don't expect these passes from deep into the box or into the wide areas.
Why is that?
Usually you have players that are positioned in the central areas with incisive passes into the box. But the way that Harry Kane drops deep and allows runners like Son to just go into space, allows him to, combine that with the technical skills to actually make those passes, it allows him to just drop deeper and let players around him, wide players, do their thing.
And then he can also get in the box and score.
Yes.
And do the passes. There's another graph, this is important. And these sorts of sweeping passes that Maram's talking about are this kind of things that Son Heung-min benefits from, as we can sort of see in this shot map graphic. Is that what this is?
Yeah, basically these are all of the shots that are assisted by Harry Kane. Now, because Harry Kane is very good in terms of his technical skills on the ball and ability to find runners when he drops deep, it means that players like Son can benefit from that, and that's all the more of an attacking combination because they're both very good, excellent finishers. So Son has had 65 shots just assisted by Harry Kane. Together, they've combined for more than 140 shots. That is an insane volume in terms of, and that's the reason why they're such an elite attacking combination, especially in the Premier League.
So this is Son being set up by Harry Kane for shots, right?
Yes.
And then this is Kane being assisted by Son.
Yes. Now, we talked about Harry Kane, the creator. Now, let's talk about Harry Kane, the goal scorer.
Yes.
When you combine him with a player like Son, you can actually begin to see how good of a finisher he is. He scored 19 goals from 13 expected goals. And the reason why that is because they're all centrally focused in the box, especially that 6-yard box. Now, because he's very good on his feet and he's not shy on the headers, that allows him quite a repertoire in terms of passing. And that's what makes him such a good goal scorer, is that he can just sneak between the back line and...
like we were saying earlier.
Exactly.
Yeah, you see, I'm right.
Especially with his movement on the ball and runs into the back line, that allows him to isolate and actually get those shots off. And that's what makes them such a good combination. They're both excellent in finishing, and they're both very good at finding each other. And why that is, a big part of why that is Kane.
And a good Harry Kane and a good Son makes for a better Spurs, as this next graphic will show you. So here we go. This is a graph with blue and red lines on it. What does this mean, and why does it show why Spurs are good?
Okay, basically this is Tottenham's non-penalty expected goals for and against. So the blue is for, and the red is against. Now, what does it show us? It's basically the quality of the chances that they're creating and the quality of the chances that they're creating. Now, under Conte, they've experienced a high in terms of the chances and the quality of chances that they've been creating that they haven't experienced before for the past 3 seasons.
Which would imply they're getting far more out of particularly Son and Kane because they're doing so well over their XG.
Exactly.
Right. So this looks really good, right, as we've kind of established here. But is this sustainable? Because, I mean, XG under, I mean, that looks nuts. Is that sustainable? Are they going to be good? Are Spurs good now?
Maybe that gap is not always going to be that big, but they're going to be able to sustain the quality of chances that they're creating simply because of excellent finishers like Kane and Son and the positions that they're getting into. If you play those players together, they're always going to be able to be a very potent attacking threat.
Especially Kane, who is both a potent attacking threat and a playmaker, because he is 2 players in 1.
If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you do enjoy Tifo, then you'll probably also like The Athletic. If you watch our tactics videos, you should go and read Michael Cox. If you're into data, read Mark Carey. And if you're into transfers, it's David Ornstein. Plus, if you're a fan of any Premier League team, then there's a journalist dedicated to you, and you can try it for free for 30 days now by clicking the link in the description.